Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we are going to be working on the budget for our fourth October paycheck. I will say that my contribution that I consider like the minimum amount that I work to hit every week is lower. But it's because I had to stay home a couple days and watch my little nephew. He's a toddler, because my sister unexpectedly went into labor with my niece, who is now born. So it's a happy reason, but it's still impacting our budget. We're starting out here last week, all of our stuff from last week. In this budget, the weekly income was higher. It was for weeks 2 and 3. But that's because I came home with $2,000 from for business income. And we were able to cover a lot of our expenses. We did end up, so down here, my medication, I have it budgeted, but it's not time to pick it up yet. So that did not come out of the account. And then you can see we did have a couple things here that were unexpected. We did go and like completely stock the house with household and pet stuff. And at that time, my husband was like, hey, you think we should go ahead and make sure we have some cold medicine in the house? And I said, no, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. We can wait till next month. Literally 2 days later, I had to go get cold medicine. So we got cold medicine here. And then my daughter, her play was last week, I guess Friday, Thursday. It was Thursday and Friday. Anyway, whatever. I didn't forget about the play, but I did forget that it was going to cost some money. So I pulled cash out to pay for actually tickets for homecoming, tickets into the play, and a bouquet of flowers for her. So we did have some unbudgeted expenses that were coming out of the actual. And so that impacted over here. We'll go over here, and left over we have, because is different up here, that's $538.48, and it's higher because I rolled over the medication amount up to here. Okay, and then we subtracted out our checking cushion. And savings changed. Initially, it was going to be $181.15. With those additional subtractions, it's $138.48. And I still have $100 sitting there for medication. So coming down here, our savings total ended up being $438.48 with $100 left over for medication. And then as far as our groceries, we started out last week with $33. We budgeted $175, so I had $208 to work with. My grocery haul was $171. And then later in the week, my husband was like, I desperately want some Coke, and we don't buy a lot of soda, so we just went ahead and went out to Walmart and grabbed some, leaving us with $29 to roll into this week's budget. Okay, let's come over here. And you can see what's taking place right here. Actually, let's go back to the calendar briefly. Zoom out a little bit. Yes, I'm working on my kitchen table. It's working out better than working on my craft table because of all my resin, really, that's on there. Okay. Just as a reminder, if you didn't watch the last budget video, we were working off of these two checks right here, and these two paydays ended up covering all of the rest of our expenses, except for the portion of the mortgage that we pull out of each check. Now let's go back over here and go over what's going on with our actual income and with our expenses for this fourth paycheck. Pay period, maybe I should say. All right. Okay, so as far as our inflow, I have my medication rollover at 100, our checking cushion at 300, our regular income ended up being $1134.59, and it should have been about just over $100 more if I had hit at least my minimum goal. And then we got a check from YouTube, like, what? That was $133.74. So in total, we are working with $1,668.33 this week, although we try to not use that cushion. Coming down here, we are covering 1/5 of the mortgage at $282. This is our gas. I know a couple of you have asked about that because it does not show up in the weekly budget. As far as budgeting some out weekly, we pay it once a month. We just put this on. We do put that on a credit card, and then it's always paid on the 4th pay period. There's the medication again coming out. Right there, right there. We had to get an oil change in the van. Halloween, my husband took the kids out and got all of their Halloween costumes. This is a combination of Walmart, Goodwill, and then Spirit Halloween as well. Our food budget for the week is $175. My daughter needed some money for school trip for today, actually. That came out in cash. So let's go ahead and add up all of those various expenses. Total expense sitting at $1,135.74. Okay, so let's get that all entered down here. You can see I do have something crossed out here, and I put Halloween decor because initially I was planning to go and get, like, after Halloween or close to the end when it goes on sale, I was going to pick up a couple Halloween decor items. We do have a couple things. You can see I got this little tablecloth. I actually got this last year. It's just a little cheap plastic thing. And we do have like this little jack-o'-lantern thing. And that's it right now, because when we had a big house fire in 2023, and some of our holiday decor is just something that we didn't completely replenish. So I've been just kind of slowly gathering up little things. Christmas we did, at least our indoor decor, we didn't replenish or replace our outdoor stuff. Anyway, that's why this was on here. And then my husband and I went over the budget this morning, actually, and he was like, I don't think we need it. Let's just go ahead and cross it off. So we have that extra 20 into savings. So this morning he was the more responsible one of us. And so anyway, that's why that is crossed out. Right. Expenses. Oh, is that not going there? 1. We have $532.59. Put that up here. Let me get this back down. You guys can see what's going on. All right, $532.59. We always do that checking cushion. 300, and so tentative in savings is going to be $232.59. Savings total And then we have a zero-based budget. Okay. Gonna go over our grocery fund. So grocery a little over 29. Grocery fund from this week is going to be 175. So working with 204 total for this week. I do all of my grocery hauls and menu plans on Wednesdays if you guys want. I'm actually going grocery shopping today, but I put them out on Wednesdays. And then down here, I have a priority goal to work every day. We'll talk about that. All right, so from now through the end of the year, I do have a challenge, or challenging myself to work every single day until the end of the year. And I think I might probably do like a separate, really short video kind of explaining, because there are some exceptions, obviously. We're hitting the holidays and things of that nature. And some of you might be like, you should have been doing that anyway. Well, really I was, okay? Because I had to make stuff for all those festivals. It just wasn't, receiving money that day. And some of the festivals didn't go well, trying new things. I'm hoping to increase that income before the end of the year, or through the end of the year, I should say, and accomplish some of those goals. I'm going to put out, like I said, a really short video kind of talking about what goals we're trying to hit, and kind of how I'm planning to actually, work every day. But thank you guys so much for watching. Our budget is pretty on track, and next week we'll be able to put a lot more toward savings, assuming we don't have a lot of unforeseen expenses or expenses we just have not considered. But it should be pretty good. I haven't done the math. I think we're getting closer to hitting that savings goal, so then we can move on to paying off some things, which that is what I want to do. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back next week in the final budget for the month of October.